These guys are not experts.
And I'm not sure they're even that smart.
They do like video games.
And I guess you could say they're funny.
Sometimes.
Well, they do like to talk.
And they do have opinions.
It's time for Video Game Replays!
And thank you for joining us on this episode of Video Game Replay. My name is Larry, IR Monkey. Joining me is my co-host, Aidan.
What's going on, guys? It's Aidan in the building, back at you again. First time being on in a while, but hey, I'm sick. The voice is all nasally, but we're back at it, coming to talk to you guys. Larry, what do we got going on today?
Well, today we're going to take a review of the year of 2026 in video gaming. I know we're running a little behind, but hey, you know, honestly, I almost think, is this the first time we've talked in 2026, at least on here? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, but that's what we're going to catch up to later. But to start out with, how you been, man? What you been into? What you been doing?
Honestly, as of recently, not a whole lot. Little update, guys. I got laid off from my job just because a new company bought out the company that we were licensed from. So, currently laid off. Reaping that unemployment, so I got a lot of time on my hands. Been doing a ton of gaming. I built my own little home lab server, so that's been an interesting project. Been playing a lot of Rocket League, a lot of gaming, a ton of cooking. But honestly, I mean, anything of serious value, I have not been doing, if I'm being honest. I've been kind of lazy, I've been sleeping, I've been eating, and that's pretty much it. Going to depth. Shit, I'm still on my dieting stuff. I've transitioned from losing a bunch of weight to now it's time to build on the muscle. So that's what I'm going through. That's the phase I'm in right now. Been hitting the workouts every other day, doing a muscle workout. Yeah, it's one thing you do notice if you go on extreme dieting and like don't work out for a long time. When you do start to do workouts, you're gonna be sore for like the next week straight. So it's yeah, it's not a fun experience, I'll tell you that.
Well, that's always what I've always heard anyways, just getting back into any workout. It's going to take you a minute, but that's what you got to break through that wall. Once you do that, then you're there. But that's a big wall for myself. But hey, I'm proud of you, man. Go at it.
Especially legs, because I go upstairs to my little workout area, and even going up and down them stairs after hitting those legs, I feel like I'm 80 years old. I have to use all the strength in the world holding onto the walls of the stairs. Yes, it's rough.
Well, I guess when it's not so rough is when you know that you're arriving, I guess.
Yeah. I'm definitely excited for it. I'm tired of being fat, so I want to change it. And I'm tired of being weak, so I want to change it, you know. Just taking control of my life, I figured. Especially since got laid off, not working, got a ton of time on my hands. I mean, what time is there other than now? Perfect timing.
Oh, I mean, the getting laid off part's gotta suck, dude. Like I said, I hate that for you, but like you say, it gives you an opportunity to really kind of get yourself some good focus and refigure out what the next steps are. Excuse me. To pick up from that, my company went through a massive layoff. They laid off 10% of the company, and I survived, but to what end, I don't know exactly yet. We in the area that we work in, the state we work in, there's 6 employees that manage throughout different parts of the state, and once everything's said and done, there'll be 2. Even though the 8 locations will still be available, there'll only be 2 people to run them, and I will be one of those 2. So I'm not too enthused about what my world's going to become.
Yeah, it's tough out there. I'm definitely I'm lucky enough to be in a privileged position to where I'm not too heavily affected. This isn't going to ruin my life, you know. I was okay with my money, so I have a decent bit saved up, and I'm still a bit younger, living off my parents' dime, you know. I don't really have any serious bills, so my life's not really negatively tanking. I'm not going to be on the streets here soon, to say the least.
Well, in this case, for anyone who's listening, you are at the younger end of the spectrum on this. You're the young blood in the group, so it's understandable. Like I say, you don't have a whole lot of turmoil really hitting you, but definitely from the old guy in the group, I would tell you take the time to definitely figure out what your next steps are and kind of hit it hard and focus on doing that. Because at some point, like I say, if I got laid off, I'd be in a shit pile right now because there's really there's not a whole lot of opportunity, and I'm not like a engineer or a programmer, so it's not a whole lot of places to go.
Nah, it's really tough, especially when you go on applications and you want to apply to an entry level job and you need experience in the entry level job. When I'm like, I thought you guys were supposed to be the entry level. You're where I'm supposed to get experience here. Where else am I getting experience doing that? You know, so
well, that shit hasn't changed in 20 years there. I'll tell you that much. I knew that was something I ran into. I have a business degree in computer information management, and I tried that when I got out of school, fresh out with a degree, all this stuff. And it's like, hey, what can I do? It's like entry level. All right. Oh, you don't have no experience. How can I have experience?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's something tied up to doing, what do they call those things? Oh, that basically that volunteer work that you have to do as a internships. I don't know if that's what it counts, but every intern I've ever dealt with in my life basically was a glorified coffee runner. So,
yeah. Hey, I'm fine with being an intern if it's a paid one, but an unpaid intern, that's where it starts to get rough.
Yeah, well, if I'm gonna be an unpaid intern, I'm gonna also be a doctor. So,
yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I pondered that at one point, but radiology is like stupid time, stupid money, and all that. And I'm just like, yeah, no, I don't have 10 years right now to give to try to learn a new trade. At least not that one.
Well, that was also one I looked into there for a minute, and apparently there's like a 2-year degree, and it's pretty decent paying. And like radiology, people are gonna have cancer. It's not really a dying field, Jim. It's just gonna happen. If anything, it's expected to grow, unfortunately. But the thing is, the 2-year course that you have to go through is like nobody in my area has the 2-year or no college in my area really has the 2-year course. And if they have it, they only accept a certain handful of people. So it's it's also not too great. But I am planning on. Sorry, real quick, just a little in the future. I'm planning on here at the end of the summer to be going to college here soon. So. I got that to look forward to. I'm definitely ready for it. I was a bit immature, a bit childish in a lot of my actions in high school, and I definitely set myself up for failure in a lot of ways. Not to get too deep on the podcast, but I definitely did. But I just want to turn my life around, get and start being a little smart with my life,
Well, you have plenty of time to turn it all around, man. Like I said, I'm pulling for you. I hope that it works out and you get your shit together. Like I said, you have time to do it. I can't say I ever had that pleasure, but I got started earlier on some other sides of adulthood and then try to catch up to it with the employment side. And I don't know, I probably used it somewhat as a crutch, but I just should have went back and got more degrees or at least a better certification in the shit that I was in. But either way, I'm not gonna live in the past about it. I'm doing fine for where I'm at. I could be doing better, but I think we all could. So,
I got family and friends. What else more could you need? That's kind of how I look at it.
It's a lot, man. Like I say, I was afraid of the idea of really, pursuing my dreams would cost me the things I have today, and I'm happy with the things I have today. And those things are really, like you said, family and friends that I wouldn't have had if I chose the other side. So. I'm good, like I said.
Look at both sides of the coin. If you did pursue your dreams, you might not have the same outcome you have right now. And you said you're happy with that, so I mean, shit. Sounds like you're content to me.
I'm happy, dude. I mean, like I said, I'm beyond content. I mean, the other side honestly was a little scary. I was truthfully in belief of heading out west and going to Arizona and trying to become the great thespian that I would never have been, but, don't know if you don't try, but, yeah, I don't know. It's just, that's what one of those aptitude tests back in middle school, back in the day, it taught me was, I should be in the arts. And truthfully, I probably could have went into cinematography and been okay with that, but even that's still a hard thing to deal with. And even at 2026, that wouldn't be safe anymore either. So,
Well, guys, thank you for joining us on our therapy podcast corner here. That's mandatory from now on for all of our episodes. Just to touch on, lighten the mood a little bit more. I have been going through a lot of different side projects currently. I mentioned it earlier. I'm building my own little home lab server, and I got it all up and running. I had an old HP Pavilion computer with a shitty HP motherboard, so I had to get a new motherboard and a couple other parts, and I got some storage, and I built my own home server. And yeah, I've been doing a lot of stuff with that, experimenting with that. I'm definitely a little bit out of my element. I just jumped straight into it, but it's been fun. I'm totally legally downloading a bunch of movies and streaming them onto Plex. That's also been very fruitful. Kind of just me or my parents. If you got a movie you want, okay, just tell me. I'll add it to my server, and that's been pretty cool as well. It has a lot of benefits to it, other than just learning, which was my main intention with getting into it.
well, definitely, I think it's some good networking knowledge to pick up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because when I do go to school, it's definitely going to be something like I was thinking cybersecurity because of AI. A lot of the computer science and all that stuff. It's becoming less and less useful as AI is growing, I think, and it's very possibly going to become more and more redundant. Very possibly, this isn't obviously a fact, but it very could be. But cybersecurity is going to be one of those where, as technology increases and AI increases, the other side of that coin is going to be technological threats and AI threats that you're going to need cybersecurity to handle. So that's my logic with that. That's why cybersecurity, but I kind of want to pursue in college at least.
Well, like I said, I don't think it'd be a bad field to get into. I mean, it may start as that. You might actually find a better branch that fits your thinking and your behavior better. So, but I mean, yeah, it's definitely something that's not going away anytime soon, I don't believe.
Yeah, I've been doing that. What else I've been? I'm getting ready to go into my hardcore green thumb phase. I started my seedlings. I got 18 other plants I'm starting. I'm going to be going into my hippie green thumb gardening phase. Got a ton of plants coming up, so yeah, just be on the lookout for that.
IT cybersecurity expert on the during the day, hippie plant grower at night. Okay.
Yeah, it's more like planting at the very small portion of the day. Cyber nerd, very small portion of the day, and then eat, sleep, shitting, gaming most of the other parts of the day. That's pretty much how my day.
It's good to have goals. It's good to have goals.
Yeah, I'm overstating how much time I'm actually investing in these fruitful fields. Most of it is on completely useless nonsense.
Well, it's something to learn. It's a hobby to have, and like I say, your payoff's going to be well. So, I mean, that's kind of me. I'm getting excited because it's warm enough. I can almost get back out to my garage. I spent a couple hours last week cleaning it out, getting ready. I want to build a bench. Got no reason, got no need. Just my hands need to do something. It's honestly a good way to kind of turn off everything else too.
Speaking of that, this actually comes hand in hand, goes hand in hand with hippie Aidan phase and Uncle Larry woodworking phase. I might need your help building some raised beds here soon, in late March, if it ever stops raining. I might have you might see a VGR raised bed building podcast on your page here soon, because I have all these seeds starting, but I have nowhere to plant them currently. So, I mean, I have a garden, but I'm planning on making raised beds because I've just read a lot about them and I'm really interested in them. But I currently have no raised beds, so that's definitely an issue I'm running into.
Well, like I say, whatever I'm building works out. I mean, I love my wife. I hate her 13 fucking chickens, but I built 2 chicken coops out of it, and like I say, to me, that was at least the payoff I got out of it. So,
hey, I've seen your work. It's pretty good. There's talks all over the town about that chicken coop there and the handy craftsmanship it took to build that. Word has spread, I'll say that.
Well, I'm sure that has spread, but also, like I said, they're missing the whole point of that damn rooster and that son of a bitch. They figure out how to get to him, it'd be great. But let's get over to the lighter side of things that we do and what we get into. So, we are kind of a gaming podcast. We do like to talk about video games. We like to play video games. So I'm going to ask you, what have you been playing?
I briefly mentioned it in the intro there. Rocket League's kind of been one of my crutches here recently. A lot of my friends are getting into it, but it's one of those games that the learning curve is so difficult to get good at, and it's frustrating because I'm pretty above average, I'd like to say, in most games, and I can catch on to games pretty quick. But Rocket League has definitely been humbling in the way that, yeah, you suck and you're gonna suck for a while, and yeah, the Rocket League's one. playing a little Arc Raiders still off and on. A little Valorant still off and on. Oh, I got a game I've been playing a little bit called Risk of Rain 2. Have you heard of it? Any of the
Risk of Rain 2?
stuff?
No.
But it's pretty sweet. It's a roguelike, and I haven't got that much into it. It was just on one of those sales on Steam that I checked out and played, I think for like $5 or something. But it's pretty cool. It's a roguelike. I'm a roguelike chud. I like roguelikes. They're kind of my crutch. Whenever I'm playing a solo game, for the most part, unless it's Elden Ring, roguelikes are definitely my crutch. I just can't get enough of them. I don't know why.
Well, I looked it up here real quick, and like some of these graphics look like they're, I don't know, probably cutscenes, because it looks like your basic gameplay is almost side scroller. I mean, it almost feels like Worms to some degree. Am I wrong here? Am I missing something?
No, it's pretty 3D. Some classes have it's kind of. It reminds me of oh shoot, what's that? I'm blanking very hard. Megabonk. I think Megabonk took a lot of inspiration from Risk of Rain 2, because I think Risk of Rain was a little earlier. But Megabonk is a 3D kind of like run around, shoot 'em type of game, but also a roguelike. Okay. And actually, I recommended Megabonk to you. I found Megabonk first, and then I played Risk of Rain. I'm like, oh shit, I see where Megabonk got a lot of this stuff. And yeah, I think you would really like Megabonk. I think roguelikes, I'm rambling a little bit here, but I think it feeds my addictive personality. Like, oh, let me see what I'm going to roll this time. And it's just addicting to me. I can't get enough of them.
Well, it's constantly changing, so like you can't really, I don't say get tired, but you know, it kind of does, keeps it fresh. Like say you find something you can definitely tie into. For clarity here, not my total loss on this. I guess Risk of Rain 1 looks more like the classical 2D platformer. That's why my brain was thinking Worms, that kind of layout there. But yeah, as I found more detailed too, it does. I see the
yes,
the updated 3D graphics and stuff. So, and the Megabonk itself, like I say, that does seem intriguing. I don't know how I've missed that. I don't even remember you mentioning that to me, but that does kind of seem like something in my realm I'm a little bit interested in right there. But
it's like you like Vampire Survivors, so that's what makes me think you like Megabonk. It's just 3D and kind of upgraded graphics and shit.
It's kind of like a 3D Vampire Survivors, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. There's also a lot more classes and stuff.
Yeah. Well, actually, as I look at it, the more I dig through that right now, it's like, actually, I do remember you reminding me of that. And so you said that the Vampire Survivors part, I remember looking at that too. Well, like I say, that's back on the list there of shit I need to pay attention to. Been playing anything else?
I'm trying to think back. I really don't think so. Those games have kind of been my territory for the moment. I touched on a slightly bit of Balatro. That's my roguelike itch coming back. But other than that, tiny bit of Fortnite. There's probably some other games I'm missing since it's been so much time off since I've actually been on the pod. But when I'm trying to remember, I can't really think of anything else.
I'm sure, and I'm with you though. That I mean, like I say, hell, since we last talked on here, I've been I played Colonization, which was a 5X game based around the American Revolution. Still never made it to the point of revolting, but I got pissed off with the Netherlands, and they were set up my ass so much that's basically where I put a pause on that and held that down for a minute. Work got ridiculously busy at the first part of the year, so days are long, and trying to keep up with stuff makes it happen. So I'm back in that 30 minutes, 45 minutes of falling asleep while I'm trying to play a game, which led me to I don't know, did you ever play Broforce? It's a 2D. Yeah, it's a 2D side shooter where basically you collect a bunch of different characters from action movies, and you have to go through like beat the devil and aliens and all that who are trying to take over Earth, and we're just trying to keep them free.
I have not, but I'm listening.
It's pretty cool. Like I say, it's a simple graphic 8-bit kind of feel, and you go around from stage to stage, and the first half of the game basically the devil's the bad guy, and we're going in there to liberate this country or liberate that country and make them more free. And then suddenly I know where aliens start popping up throughout the earth, and they start taking over and joining up with the devil side. And they always have these huge mecha boss devil demon machines, which are the bosses and stuff. I was really heavy into that. I used to play that a lot actually on my PC. They had it on sale on the Switch, which then, like, oh, hell yeah, $5, I'll put this back in. And
Yeah.
I think I've got through about 80% of it on my Switch, and then I drifted back to my PC again, and I broke out a game you turned me on to a long time ago called Backpack Battles.
Yes. Another roguelike.
I broke it out. It's a simple game. It's a good one. You can sit there and kind of, eat a snack too, play a round or two, depending how big your snack or meal may be at that point. And they added up to, I think they're up to 6 classes now, with the 7th one coming early this year. Balances it out a little bit. It's fun. I like that game a lot.
I think for me personally, I don't know if this is where like my ADHD kicking in, but I like the fact that roguelikes you can play and get really into, but you can also listen to a podcast or watch a show like in the background. And I don't know. Yeah. That's just what addicting. That's what makes it so addicting. You could listen to VGR Podcast and shoot some shit up. I mean, how can you go wrong?
That's the best of both fucking worlds right there.
And now that you mention it, you can currently buy Broforce for $2.99 on the Steam store, 80% off currently. So this is not sponsored. I mean, I might have to pick it up.
Might be the second best $3 you spend this month. I don't know.
It looks like the reviews are overwhelmingly positive with 20,000 reviews. There we go.
I actually want to say I'm probably one of those. I usually don't do a whole lot of Steam reviews, but I'm pretty sure I may be in that one. But outside of that, I did sneak in one afternoon. I had a free Sunday afternoon, and I just sat down and I started playing Minecraft again. I got through about 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours of that, and if I get bored with doing any of that and I want to sit on the couch tonight, I'll play another hour or two, fall asleep playing that. So it's been slow. Been trying to figure out something to get into. I missed my winter window of trying to play some big long game, and I think Colonization was my attempt at it, but I hit the wall on it and just got bored, I guess. But it's still there, and I'm still fresh enough in my mind. I was gonna go back and play classic Dungeons and Dragons RPG, the old TSR stuff, but got through a couple rounds of that, and that just kind of just drug on for a minute. I think it was just not filling up the fun meter like it used to, at least not at the point. But I guess the other part is I'm not sitting around smoking cigarettes, drinking caffeine, and trying to find something to do.
I will say, if sometime in the next decade you end up sitting down and beating Minecraft and getting to the Ender Dragon and slaying that sumbitch, I do have a better challenge for you, a more in-depth challenge, Terraria. That is also one of my old vices. I used to sink 5 hours a day into. Very good game. It's like Minecraft, but you also have guns, and it's 2D, and you have all kinds of shit, and it's so deep. It's so good. Oh my gosh. I might have to go on a Terraria marathon now that I'm speaking about it.
I will admit, Terraria I think is on my Switch wish list to just I'm really cheap, so I'm waiting for it to pop up. I still think it's like $15. It's one of those. The Asian guy in me is like, come on, $12.99. You drop $3, I buy.
No, definitely, but it's worth it. It's very good. It is one of those games where you definitely have to, like, to find some stuff out. You got to look on the wiki, which I can appreciate. I like some of those games. Stardew Valley was kind of like that for me. I was like, oh, how the hell?
Yeah.
You just got to look some stuff up. Elden Ring was really like that for me.
The depth is what I think makes this like, holy shit, on the surface you can get through it, but yeah, just like I said, when you figure out how deep they actually went with some of that shit, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's insane.
But, well, like I say, outside of that, just a quick catch up before we actually get into the meat of the show. We still have Earthbound loaded in there. The hardest part's trying to get all three of us put together, and honestly, at this point, we don't know where that answer is, but hopefully within a week from hearing this, you should hear us talking and finally reviewing Earthbound. So that could be coming up. And right after this here, we'll start talking about gaming in 2026. This episode of Video Game Replay is brought to you by Phantom Shield VPN, the only VPN that takes your privacy as seriously as you do. Let's be honest, the internet's basically a dark alley with horny cats and Wi-Fi. Every click, every search, every late night deep dive in Rule 34, Sophia Petrillo, someone's watching. Your internet provider, your applications, maybe your cat. Definitely your cat. I think she's embarrassed too. But not if you're using Phantom Shield VPN. Phantom Shield VPN encrypts your data using military-grade technology, which basically means that it will work some of the time. Maybe. With Phantom Shield VPN, you can browse privately, stream anything from anywhere, and pretend to be from a country you've never even heard of, all while knowing your information isn't being sold to the highest bidder, because let's face it, you're worth more than 12 cents of ad revenue. And right now, listeners of Video Game Replay get 85% off, plus your first 3 months free. That's almost a full season of lying low on the grid while you Google things like John Stamos shirtless. Go to phantomshieldvpn.com/VGRpod and use our code SHOCKER at checkout. That's phantomshieldvpn.com/VGRpod, code SHOCKER, because being invisible online shouldn't require a tinfoil hat. Stay private, stay safe, stay off those websites you shouldn't be on, all with Phantom Shield VPN.
At the time of this recording, Phantom Shield VPN is not a real product, nor is it a website. The offer included in the previous message is real, as 30% of zero is still zero, and since it doesn't cost anything, 3 months of free is a valid offer. This is a parody. It is not a paid promotion of Phantom Shield VPN, which is not a real product or website.
This week, we're going to talk about gaming in the year of 2026. I know we're now into the last part of the first quarter, but a lot has happened, and actually, I think now is kind of a review with a good chance to see where the future's going on it. So, Aidan, if you will, bear with me here, and we'll jump right into this, okay?
Let's do it.
So, gaming in 2026, where are we going? What's the future? Is there actually a future left in gaming? Consoles are becoming almost too expensive to own. The PlayStation 5 costs between $500 to $600, with talks of a price increase before a possible PS6 is due to come out next year, possibly 2028. The Switch 2 runs about $400 to $500 before you get any games. And as we're talking at the first part of March in 2026, there's still only a handful of first-party exclusives. There's a Pokemon game coming out exclusively for it, but is that really going to be the killer app? They've also been offering... Oh, this was one of my favorite ones. Nintendo offered a $100 piece of plastic that looked like the Virtual Boy, where you slid the Nintendo Switch into this thing so you could feel like you played the classic... Virtual Boy that no one actually owned or played, but you can buy that for $100. The Steam box was announced at the end of last year. A little bit of fanfare, a lot of curiosity. But then later they came out and said, yeah, we're going to put that on hold because of the cost of microchips, and we're not sure if we're going to actually get it out for less than $1,000. We didn't say that part, though. We didn't say it's $1,000. We're just going to put it on hold for a minute. I know you, Aidan, definitely bought in really hard to becoming part of the PC master race over the last year. At this point now, I think after a little bit of money you put into it, a PC right now has gotten to the point where it's almost as expensive as a used car. I did a little bit of look up on this, and an Alienware desktop right now runs about $6,000 without a monitor or peripherals. And the most exciting current news is the good old Xbox. CEO of gaming, Phil Spencer, retired. His apparent Xbox president, not president, but the one lady they expected to take his job, Sarah Bond, she decided she was done. She don't want to be in this no more. And Xbox decided to make the president of Microsoft Core AI, Asha Sharma, as the new leader of the Xbox division of gaming. And she's not a gamer. She is a AI expert, and also, I guess, the person who was over top of kid experiences at Facebook. I don't know, but a lot of people on the internet are saying that the Xbox is dying, and we just maybe we just witnessed the death. I don't know, but Aidan, I guess is where I'll start with you. What the fuck is going on with gaming?
I don't know. From a technological standpoint, you'd think this would be the golden age of gaming. We're getting to a point where, on the technical level, something that is very powerful, that is 10 times more powerful than something 10 years ago, is very able to be mass produced, but corporate greed, AI infrastructure, and a lot of stuff is just buying everything up. So now that hardware that can be mass produced, that is almost required for PCs for most modern games, is now going up. I actually I built a PC about mid-December. I ended up buying all my parts a bit before December. I just put it together in December, and that ran me around $1,500, which is actually a solid deal for what it is. I got RTX 7800 XT with the Ryzen 7 7700X CPU, so a very solid system, but and 32 gigs of DDR5 6000 megahertz RAM, which we're at a rare point in this time. Usually when you build a PC, it's not appreciable. You buy a PC and the next year or so it's gone down by half. That's kind of just how it is, because technology is just getting better and better, and what you bought, the newer model, is now old news. But it's at a weird point where I could actually sell my PC and somehow make money. The RAM kit I bought for $120 or $130, I don't remember exactly what I paid for it, is close to $400 now, just for 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM. Like, it's getting ridiculous. The AI infrastructure. RAM is so important to it, apparently, that what is it, Larry? That Crucial now signed a contract that they're no longer selling customers. Like, they're not what'd they say it was? They're not selling to customers. They're pretty much just selling to corporations.
Yeah, they stopped selling consumer products, and then basically are only now dealing with AI, which on the level sounds like a good idea, but also from what I heard the other day is weird, because basically companies are buying microchips that don't exist with money that doesn't exist, because it's all based off of future gambles. So it sounds like a very bad credit crisis coming up on stuff because I'll just say at least this part before I let you get back at it. I know there's been shit that, in my business, I work in the telecom business. I don't know how it works or how this was ever correct, but it's something I ordered in June of last year. It took a couple months to get to us. Well, if I ordered it at $100 a pop, before it got to me 6 months later, they're like, oh no, it's $120 now. I'm like, no, I bought that at $100. You sell it to me at $100.
Yeah.
Not change it for you, hold it for ransom for an extra $20 on top of it, which I'm afraid that's going to happen too. But,
yeah, it's going in a very weird. It's going in a very weird direction right now, because a lot of modern games use very CPU and graphics card intensive games are very, very prevalent into running a game consistently at 120 FPS. You kind of need some of the newer stuff, but the newer stuff's getting bought up. So if the consoles and the Steam machine, if they want to have that newer product, they're just going to be forced to sell it at $700 instead of $400 like it was in the past, or whatever, or $1,000 bucks plus for the Steam machine. Yeah, it's going in a very negative direction. I personally don't have any super heavily invested AI stocks. I think the most one I have is Microsoft, which has a lot of AI investment, but is also a software stock, and they're big in the cloud space and all that. So it's a little bit more protected from AI, but I feel like AI is definitely a bubble, and I'm kind of excited for it to pop if that means I can get some RAM a little bit cheaper.
Well, I have the, like I say, on the gaming side of it though. I'm an old guy. I honestly, like I say, I think the last generation I bought, I have a Switch, obviously, partially because COVID and all that. During that time, we ended up, I think, I kept Nintendo going myself. I think I bought 4 of those sons of bitches over my time. Actually, I think I've purchased 5 of them. I've bought 5 Switches in my day. But outside of that, I think the last PlayStation I owned was a 3. Xbox 360 was the last one I bought. My son did keep up to have the Series S. He gave me a Xbox One. It's stored away because I honestly couldn't figure out why I wanted to break it out. I'm a Forza guy, but I really didn't care enough to want to break out and do that because of the online and the micro transgressions that they put out with every damn video game anymore. But in the bigger picture, I'm worried about gaming in 2026, not just even because of the cost of it, but it's like, what's the return on my purchase? I mean, it seems like everybody now is, this game's available on all the platforms. And, the differences might be minuscule versus, back in the day where if you bought it on PlayStation, it played really well, but you didn't have this feature. If you bought it on the Dreamcast, it was the best way you played it, but nobody owned it, so you couldn't play with anyone. I mean, there was a lot of different give and takes, but at this point, it's all pretty ironed out outside of Nintendo still just doesn't, understand what the hell the internet is and how it works. But, I mean, that's, I guess, what part of my concern is. And it may just be me being the old guy, but it's like, is there actually more than 4 type of video games anymore? I mean,
yeah,
tell me on that.
It definitely does. It seems like there's a little bit with AAA games and kind of just games are being produced simply for monetary gain, and some of the art is kind of being lost in it. Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of indie games and good indie games coming out, and smaller studios putting out some good stuff. But yeah, I mean, some of the titles that I loved growing up, the Call of Duty titles, the 2K titles, I don't know, those AAA games are just kind of, they're not doing it for me. It seems like a lot of money grab stuff. I'm not in the camp that thinks gaming is dead by any means. I think there's a lot of good games out there. A lot of people just don't get to play them. But I think one of the reason is the pricing of what we talked about. I'm not against paying a certain amount of money for a solid game, but you have these Switch exclusives that for like Donkey Kong Bonanza, how much were they charging for it? It was like $70 or something. Like,
yeah,
I mean, come on. $70 for a game? I don't know. It just to me that just seems like a lot. I'm not sure how you can have some indie games that are they're making these award-winning masterpieces of games with graphics that'll blow your cock off, and they're selling it for $20, and the game's amazing, but Nintendo or these AAA or EA games, they just can't figure out how to get their game out for less than $70. I mean, it just seems like they're squeezing their actual player base for all they have to offer.
Well, I think part of it though is, and I don't get the markets to some degree. I mean, I know the last couple of years, Microsoft went on a purchasing spree where they bought Rare, they bought Bethesda, a bunch of other different studios. PlayStation bought Blue Point, who made Shadow of the Colossus, Demon Souls, and they just closed it. And I mean, that seems to become the thing. It's like, it's almost like the early points of like Netflix, where all these companies were trying to grab up the studios so they could own the rights to these games. And they don't care about making anything more. We just want the stuff that you already played, or the stuff that, you know, your generation is going to remember playing, you know, so that way they can get you for the nostalgia fix later on. And now everybody's turned everything into a service. You know, you're more likely, you know, with Xbox, what is that shit called? It's not Xbox Live, but
Game Pass
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, they want you to pay $30 a month so you can go back and play freaking, you know, Halo or whatever it is that you played from the day. And I don't think that, you know, the likelihood of us getting anything news could be so spread out. I want to bitch about the idea that, you know, I don't want to pay for an $80 video game, but I know I've looked at different things, and, you know, our first season, we played a lot of Nintendo games. We played some shitty Nintendo games, but these also were $50 games somewhere, you know, 1985, which, you know, today would like be paying $150 for those games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm trying not to bitch about it, because it can, and it probably will get a lot worse. You know, it's the idea of trying to get our brain to wrap around the idea that, oh, sorry, you know, you want the next, you know, Madden, it's $150, especially when it really was just a fucking update to the rosters.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I totally understand you. If my issue is, I have no issue if you have an indie game or small studio game that comes out that has a lot of good art into it. You can tell they put their entire soul into it. They spend hours and hours and hours on it. I'll pay the $40. Hell, I'll pay $50-$60 if it's truly a good game that is going to get a lot of replay value, and I'm going to get a lot of value from it. There has to be some exchange. But if you're one of these third-party games that I grew up on, and you're just releasing pretty much the same game with a few tweaks that you made 1 year ago, and then charge me $70 for it, I mean, that's what I have issue with. I'm not talking about like the people that made like Cuphead or Celeste or any of the Hollow Knight games, or even like we were talking about Terraria or Stardew Valley, any of those smaller studio games. I have no problem paying money for those games. Without me paying that money, those games won't exist. There won't be a market for those games to be created. But I just have problems with kind of the mass-produced slop that the AAA big studios are just putting out every year, end on end, and charging you $70 for them, like they're coming out with sliced bread or something.
Well, I think that what we're going to run into is the small studio is where the video game art tradition, the thing that we love, is going to have to stay. Because, yeah, a lot of the games that I know you and I have talked about, that we've talked about on here recently, especially with the more modern, newer stuff, are pretty much quote unquote indie games. Because all your AAA big boys are just buying up shit, trying to keep it together, and then figuring out how to sell you crap. But they don't care about going any further with it. They just need you to buy it. I guess, I don't know. I don't know if we as gamers are going to keep taking an ass from people like EA and Microsoft, all these big ones. I mean, is there a possibility of them failing? Because I mean, that might be the change, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
I mean, it's very possible that they could fail, but I just think there's enough pigs to consume the slop to keep their head above the water, to say it in a poetic sense. It is slop, and I do think it's slop, but there's enough people that will pay the $70 for the slop, so the games aren't going to fail. There's enough Call of Duty players, there's enough 2K players to keep giving these guys millions and billions of dollars. That really, it's very hard for them to fail. I mean, 2K, they pretty much change nothing from game to game. I would not be surprised if if 90% of the game is legit copied from the previous year and they just make some tweaks to everything and add some smaller stuff, and they're charging $70, and it's pay to win on that game, so people put hundreds of dollars into that game, a lot of my friends included. I think it's gonna be very, very hard for them, those bigger guys, to fail, especially since gaming and technology at large is becoming much bigger and larger in recent years. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think it's going anywhere, especially like you were talking about. Even some of these smaller studios or indie studios are being bought up by the bigger guys. So they've kind of set up a system here where it's going to be very hard for them to actually fall on their face.
It is, but I just at some point, I think the independent guy, I think I'll take like Stardew Valley. I can't think of the fellas who made that. I know it was just one guy.
Yeah,
he created it. Made it. Took something he loved, made something out of it, kept going to this day of updates and things coming to it. And I think he's at least been kind of harsh against the idea, like, no, I don't want to sell. No, I don't want to sell. At some point in time, whether it's him or, God forbid the man passes away, his wife, his kids, his estate, or whatever decides they're going to sell it. At some point, these small indies, is what I'm saying, is they're going to vanish unless we keep feeding them. But you keep feeding them, then they just become one of the big pigs. And then at that point, as soon as they get to a point, then the bigger guys can eat them up. And I'm afraid that something that's creative and something that's going to be, wow, you got to try this, is going to die out before it's all said and done. And I don't know if really, if there's any way to say that. I would like to think, and I think that the video game, from the things I'm reading and seeing, the video game market's kind of taking a hit because it's just too goddamn expensive to be entertained. When everybody's budget's tight, we're still bitching about the cost of eggs and milk and cheese. And I know, you and me, my friend, we love a good steak, but shit, that's, to get a good steak, so hour work and this kind of that anymore. So it's, how do you have the justification of buying $100 video game for a $600 system with $100 controller, and then another $40 to $50 every other month, so you can actually play it against somebody online, because you're not designed to play with someone sitting in the same room with you. I mean,
when you put it like that, it's very hard to mentally justify spending all that money on it. I don't know. I'm just a gamer at heart, so I'm always gonna spend that money on it. I'm always gonna play the games, but I do definitely see you on the part that there is a risk of some of that failing and gaming transforming into one of those things that, if you want the newer game, you kind of got to be upper middle class at least, or upper middle class at least, to afford some of these games, and that kind of just wasn't what gaming was built on necessarily. Not to say you didn't have to always have some amount of money. I'm not saying gaming was free, but it's definitely being with everything else getting more expensive and gaming not being unique to that. It's definitely threatened from losing some of its creativity and love and heart that goes into it.
Well, I think at some point, like I say, the easiest way for them to make games cheaper, which may or may not happen, because every damn game from a big studio has to be a AAA game that makes $1 billion, or it's a failure. We're not going to get any like small B tier, C tier video games from them anymore. Which I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head, but I can't immediately. I mean, I'm just thinking, I know back in the day, the one things that I knew was there, and I know this was part of how the process worked. You had John Madden, around 2005. So Madden 25 or 05 or whatever the hell it was at that point. I don't know if there were years or numbers still at that point. But it was a $50, $60 game. Well, here comes ESPN making at that time, that's when they had the 2K, or maybe 2K made the ESPN version of the football game. It was $20 right out the gate. So it's sitting there right beside it. And it's like, the competition was good, but then of course Madden made the deal on the inside to get the NFL exclusive. And they let that, that's why you don't have a 2K football game anymore. But I guess 2K took the hit and said, fine, we'll buy the basketball one, because there's not an EA one anymore, is there? EA basketball game?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just 2K.
So it's just the lawyers, the business people all got tied into it. It's like, if they're getting away from the beauty of what video gaming is and just giving people options. I mean, but it's also these fucking robot people that they are. I know we talked about earlier, the McDonald's guy CEO today or this week put out a video about him eating the new McArch. Well, you knew it was going to be shit when he's like, this is a great product. I think we got something good here. This is a really nice product to eat here, and he takes the most fakest fucking eating out of it. It's like, first off, who the hell ever called their food a product? I mean, that fucked with me to no end. And then it's just like, oh God, it's a big burger. I don't even know how to attack this thing. It's like, come on, dude. The fucking hamburger. You don't know how to eat one? Like, go to Burger King. They'll show you how to eat a fucking Whopper, man. I mean, come on now.
No.
So I don't know. These unattached people who are just worried about fucking selling something.
I will say though, to kind of show a little modern gaming in a little more positive light. I do think there is a lot of AAA game slop, a lot of EA guys or any of like the modern Call of Duty guys that put out a lot of bad games, but there are some AAA games in kind of recent history that have been very solid. You have the Legend of Zelda games, you got the God of War games, the Last of Us games, the Witcher games. You got Sekiro, Elden Ring. Those are all technically Baldur's Gate. Those are all technically AAA. Red Dead Redemption 2. Those are AAA bigger games, but they're still solid games. And I don't think the art is dead into it, but it's definitely going. It's not in a great trajectory, to say the least. But I do want to give some flowers to some of the bigger studios. They're not simply for profit. Some of them aren't. Some of them definitely are. But there are still some guys in there that are hanging around and making us gamers happy, putting out some good games.
Well, and I hope that keeps up. I really do. Like I say, I'm still a gamer. I'm still a person who loves. I do want to love my video game. I'm so distraught on the idea that they've decided they want to charge the ass off of me so I can have a little bit of fun for a little bit. But it's just like, when you come down to it, a video game system console is for kids. You bought it as a toy for your child. I'm a 40-year-old fucking child who still likes to play with my toy. But the problem is I can't justify it for me, and I really have a hard time justifying it for them, because in the same token, my youngest children are just as happy playing on their fucking phone, getting caught up in the whole, death scroll. So the balance somewhere, it's like, I know we're in a attention economy, as they call it now. Basically, whatever's gonna get your eyes stuck on me the most. Me and CJ, we just got done coaching a basketball team, and I talked to all these kids trying to figure out what they like. Of 9 kids, only 2 of them basically gave me the idea that they're actually gamers. I'm like, that ought to say something to them. I mean, a couple of them did play Fortnite and all this, but as towards being like a gamer, like, what do you like? Only like 2, maybe 3. So a third of them basically came out and was like, oh, I play video games. The rest of them's like, I watch this, I do that.
Yeah, that's very
It was intriguing to me. It was to me too, because it's really usually that's all you gotta find out is what you play, and then bam, relate to that, and that's how you attach to one of these kids. But
that is weird, because I mean, growing up, I definitely grown up in the mid 2000s. Even I had all I want to say every single one of my friends was a gamer, and that wasn't like just my friend group. I mean, everyone played games. That kind of just how it was. So I mean, it's very possible. It's not. Don't get me wrong. I'm a gamer at heart. I love gaming, but it's not like a huge negative if kids aren't gaming. You know what I'm saying?
No,
but that is surprising me though.
I'm just like I say, I don't know if it's getting away from kids or if it's because, like, say, you got parents like me who just I can't justify paying for you to have a damn $1,000 phone with, you know, X amount a month for you to actually have service so you could watch fucking videos on it all the time, and give you an extra $1,000 of a video game to play that you may or may not play, or, you know, listen to you in there cussing because some dude just fucking, you know, ran a 90-yard touchdown on you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you know, it's the balance from where I sit at it. And I don't know where it's going to end up, but I just don't think, I don't know. I just know there's a lot of it that makes me worried as a gamer at heart that this is going to go bad. But, as you said, you know, we're trying to kick this around here, try to get back to it. I know we started with something a little bit earlier, so let's kind of kick over to a little more positive before we get out of here this evening. Is there a game that you are excited to see this year? I know we looked through a list of games that are coming out. Was there anything in that seemed like something you may be interested in? Something we may look forward to in 2026?
Well, we did talk about, actually, as I was just hating on AAA games, we did talk about the new Pokemon game coming out. Speaking of AAA games, that actually looked, apparently is actually pretty solid compared to all the other trash Pokemon games as of recent. But this Pokemon Pocopia, it actually seems pretty good. We talked about Marathon, looked pretty good. Slay the Spire 2, I played Slay the Spire 1 like 3 or 4 years ago. Again, I'm a roguelike chud, so that was a big one for me back in the day. Excited for that. And of course, you got the big one, supposedly coming out in November. You got the big one, GTA 6. It's been delayed about 5 or 6 times, so it could actually be releasing. It's supposed to be in November, so that's also a AAA game I'm looking forward to here.
I'm kind of intrigued about that too. I'm just hoping I have a rig of some sort that's able to run that son of a bitch. That's what I'm scared of. I don't know if they're down involving it or not, but
I don't think if I kept my old PC, I don't think I'd be able to run it. I can on my new PC for sure, but yeah, on my old one, I don't think I could, and it was still a pretty decent rig. So I have a feeling it's definitely going to be very graphically intensive, to say the least. But I mean, that's the game they're heading, and I think if it wasn't graphically intensive and it didn't look like real life, I feel like people would be disappointed. So I can't really hate on that.
Well, I think that I'm hoping. I don't want to say I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm hoping, and I think and I feel that part of where we've hit the ceiling in video game consoles, and I think the Series S showed it pretty well. When you get a PlayStation 5 and then they turn around 6 months later and give you a PlayStation 5 Pro, and even the Switch to Switch 2, really, it's almost just upgrades. Like there's no real evolution. It's just, you know, we're going to inject some new shit into this to make it a little bit more powerful. I would hope that, you know, yes, I should be able to run GTA 6 on my rig, but on the same token, I'm not going to be able to see the perfect textures of, you know, the real facial hair going on the dude's face or the lady's hair flowing in the wind, but I'll be able to at least play it. I mean, I'd be content to play it on a level of, I guess, PS3 even. Visually, that would be okay for me, if I could at least pull that. And I would hope that option, you know, turn down your graphics a little bit more, would be available to do so.
Oh, that's definitely going to be an option. When I say I couldn't run it, I was talking mostly about like high level graphics on my old PC. I could definitely probably run it on low graphics at 60 FPS, which is what all the older consoles used to run on. I think up to 1. I think Xbox Series S and X is 120 FPS now, but I could definitely probably run at 60 to 90 FPS on low to moderate graphics on my old PC. My new one, I should be able to run it no problem, but from the looks of it and just how good the game looks overall, I'd say it's going to be pretty hardware intensive.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it one bit. Like I said, that's what scares the hell out of me because I'm not ready to jump into that. But I do want to touch on 1 or 2 games here that through this list that I've seen that kind of jumped out at me. The He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I think it's a PlayStation exclusive right now, but it's basically just a beat 'em up. I don't know what it is. I'm not a huge He-Man fan, but I've definitely been into it. I'm actually kind of interested in seeing the new movie this year. There was also I'm trying to think of this one. It's Legacy of Kain. I faintly remember playing some of those back in the day on PC. There's a new one of those coming out. And then also as I went through, I'm trying to figure out where that last one went. I don't know. I noticed there's a shit, where'd it go? There was something in here I'd seen that looked like a game, a Diablo. It was Diablo 4. And I remember that came out as a mobile game, and now apparently they're porting it over finally to all the consoles. And I'm like, Is it just going to be an upscale, or is it going to be, a remaster or something?
I hope they do something different to it. I remember when they announced that, and people were not happy that it was going to be a mobile game.
I'm with you. And I'm like, don't make it just where I can now play it, where it feels. They've done that. Nintendo Switch was really bad about bringing a lot of mobile games over to play on theirs. I don't need another mobile game on my damn console.
Yeah.
I did see Forza Horizon 6 is coming out, which I did think I was able to run that. I do think I'm able to run that on my rig. It's able to pull it. And then the one that just jumped out at me, which I can't find anything on it, but I've got to look for it. Game called Space Warlord Baby Trading Simulator.
What the hell?
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm like, it's supposed to be coming out, but I can't find a webpage on it or nothing. It won't jump me over to anything. So I'm like, I don't know. If you guys, if anyone's heard anything on that, just let me know here, because apparently it's coming out on the PC and the Xbox. Actually, it should be out by definition, but I can't find anything for it. So
sounds like some Epstein file stuff. I mean, what's going on here?
Maybe that's all it was. It's like
the Space Warlord Baby Trading Simulator.
So, like I said, that's definitely some stuff in there. I think we may have brought it back around a little bit at least, but so I guess at this point, like I said, I'll just ask the same question again. I was like, do you still see a good, strong future for the gaming industry, or do you think we're going to hit a bump or going to hit a lull? What's your forecast for the future here on this?
I feel like artistically, there's not really going to be a wall being hit. Along with technologically, I don't think things are going to get any worse at all, like hardware wise. But I do fear that gaming is definitely trending in an area where you have to have a lot of money to be able to play these games and keep up with it. And that it's definitely trending in that direction where you have to be kind of upper middle class, or as a kid you just gotta be left out. A lot of people playing games. There's gonna be kids here that aren't gonna be able to play those games. I remember, when I was a kid, I mentioned almost every one of my friends playing video games, and maybe that's one of the reasons you said your kids on the basketball team aren't gaming. Maybe some of the parents didn't have a ton of money. Maybe some of the parents don't have $500-600 to spend on a console, and $70 to buy the new game, and $70 to buy the new controller, and pay the internet bills and pay for Game Pass. So it definitely might leave a lot of kids left out, and that's for sure. That's more of what I fear on it. I don't think games are going to die anytime soon. I don't think we have a lack of artisticness going on in the gaming industry. Hardware, it's going to be fine, like from a spec perspective, or how good the hardware actually is. Like I said, the only thing that I fear for is the pricing of it all.
Well, and that's I think that's definitely a big factor in it. I think there's some speaking of possibility that the Xbox console may be done, because they may go into a different service. That was one of the things that they were worried Spectre was going to do. Was basically, it's like, yeah, we're not going to make Xbox anymore. We're just going to have Xbox Studios, and you're going to play our games everywhere else.
Yeah,
not a totally bad idea, but on the same token, it's I liked my Xbox. That's why I went to it instead of stay with the PlayStation. So I don't know, but
I grew up on the Xbox. It'll definitely be sad to see it go. I'm definitely a PC gamer now, but growing up on the Xbox, it would be it would definitely suck for that to be discontinued or done away with.
Well, I think if nothing else, this just definitely reinforces the importance of why we do what we're doing here, and basically trying to keep some old classic games available and keep them into the forefront, because at least, like I say, you may not be able to afford the game of tomorrow, but a little bit of internet searching or a yard sale or a little eBay, you can definitely play the games of yesteryear. But with that, Aidan, I think it's time we need to wrap this baby up. It's not a whole lot left, but hey, folks out there, if you got anything that you want to add to this, please don't be afraid to let us know. Aidan, you want to tell them where and how they can do that?
Guys, VGR family, we're on all the socials. Click the link tree in the YouTube video below. We're on Spotify's. We're on the Instagrams. We're on the YouTubes. Here coming soon, we're going to be on the Apple iTunes, every good podcast media. We're on the TikToks. Send us a email if you got any questions for us. Got any games you want us to play? Got any videos you want to watch? You got any movies you want us to watch? We'll even do movie reviews here. We're kind of up. We're in a transitional period here. We're kind of up in the air. We're kind of just mellowing everything out, being a little more flexible. And trying to work around everyone's in-person schedule. It's been tough over the holidays, and a lot of us have been busy, but we're excited to get back into it. The email is vgrpod@gmail.com. Send us an email. Hoping to come back to you guys next week with Earthbound. I believe that's my third time saying this at the end of one of our podcasts, but I'm not kidding this time. We are going to be coming back with Earthbound. And, and hopefully CJ will be there too, but I don't have any promises for that either. So we will see you guys, hopefully, on Earthbound in the next one. See you guys.
So, thank you for all listening. Appreciate it. Aidan, thank you. Later, y'all.